Touchdown. Awesome. Good afternoon, people. Welcome to another episode of Traveling Beyond Borders with Nnamdi. My name is Nnamdi Henaja, and I'm taking you on today's journey, today's episode. I hope you have been well. I hope everybody is doing great. I hope things have been good with you since the beginning of the month. A lot has happened from my end. I wish I could share. Maybe when you come hang out, the next social, the next gathering we do, I'll get to tell you in person about how life has been. A lot of good things have been happening, a lot of exciting things from the AIM platform, from business. Just God is good. That is all I can say. And so I'm excited to come to you and keep having these conversations. Again, if you're new here, this is Traveling Beyond Borders with Nnamdi, and every week, Thursday by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sometimes later, a little later, I come and I just talk through situations and just things to help us navigate our journey as African immigrants, the African diaspora here in the United States. This is home now. And so we want to make sure we're providing resources, tools, expertise to ensure that everybody is having, striving and just going beyond surviving, but thriving and doing well. That is the mission. That is a core part of what we do at the African Immigrant Technology. And yes, this platform is powered by the African Immigrants Collective. Did I say technologies? I am mixing things up. It's been a busy morning, but let's jump right into that. I'll be speaking on when progress feels slow. When progress feels slow, staying consistent through the middle. When progress feels slow, and I don't know how you're feeling that. Maybe you feel like this is speaking to you. Well, great. I'm glad you said that. So again, welcome LinkedIn, welcome YouTube, and everybody who's going to watch on replay. Thank you. January is gone, just like that. The excitement is behind us. The new year we're no longer, you can't call this a new year anymore. We're wrapping up month number 2. So the excitement of January is faded. February is on its way, is on its way out. And the finish line, we're looking towards March, and it's like, hey, Q1. People are looking at their goals and resolutions. I feel like, man, the finish line is far away. Maybe this is not going to happen. And this is the point where a lot of people, all of the stats and numbers suggest around Valentine's Day, people start giving up on their goals and New Year resolutions. And so it's that time of the year where we just get back in routine, fall back in line, and continue business as usual. And my objective today is simple. It's about mental stamina. We're moving from feeling-based progress to system-based progress. That is how we'll sustain and get things done. We're looking to thrive. We're not going to survive, right? We're going beyond survival. We will survive. We will survive. You already survived. So that's my goal today. Right now, why does the middle feel so hard? Okay, why does it feel so difficult, so tough in that middle portion of the year, in that middle portion of your pursuits of something? And the first point I want to talk about is the visibility gap, right? In the beginning, it's, learning is fast. You have a lot of new energy and you're less congestion, and so you can absorb, you can consume content, you can you're eager, you're excited, and it's easy to absorb. And at the end, the reward is big, because every time you learn, it's like something you can calculate. You can almost say this is a transformation, so it's calculable, right? And so it's like I can see the result. In the beginning, you're working hard, and then in that middle portion, it's like, okay, I'm making efforts, but I'm looking for change and I'm not seeing it, right? It's almost like I always liken this to, you start going to the gym. The first couple of weeks, you probably feel worse than you were feeling before you started, right? You started now, and then you say, you know what, I've made up my mind, I'm going to do this, and then you keep showing up, but you feel tired, and then you hit the mirror, and sometimes you can get on the scale, and it doesn't look like it's moving as fast as you should, or you expected. That's where you're not seeing that phase where you're not seeing the results, right? That's the visibility gap I'm talking about. The time where efforts and results don't look like they match. And so that's one of the reasons why the middle feels so hard, because At the beginning, excitement will carry you. But at the middle, now you're looking like, hey, I've been putting in time, I've been putting in the work. What's going on? Right? I've been working at this thing they said would change my life, would change my business, would change my health, would change my family. I've been putting in some work. I put in some a couple of weeks now, a month and change. Why is nothing happening? I understand. I feel you. I am you. I do that all the time. All right. So that visibility gap where results are not visible tends to be one reason why um, the middle section feels hard. The second is what I call the immigrant paradox, right? We often feel like we have to work twice as hard to get twice as far, right? And when, half as far takes longer than expected, it feels like failure, right? It's like, I've done all of this. I expect to be here, but I only am here, right? I've put in this amount of work. I should be at this location, but I'm still here. This place still seems far. And it's almost like, yeah, it's, it's follow me if you're a person of faith. It applies across the board, even if you're not. Scripture, I remember, that talks about, I remember when he was on his way to Damascus to persecute the church. And then he got to a point where, he encountered the Lord on his way. And what happened was, after his encounter, the first voice here, like, why are you kicking against the bricks? Right? That was the word here. Why are you kicking against bricks? That's what it feels like. As an immigrant, it's like I'm working twice as hard. I am putting in all of this work. I am making all of this effort. And it seems like I'm kicking against bricks. There is forces put in place deliberately to ensure that I am not advancing, right? And the truth is there are systemic issues and concerns that have effects, on us, on minority folks in the United States, but especially in immigrants and immigrant communities. So that can be difficult. That is again similar to the visibility, concern that I raised earlier. I'm not seeing what I'm working for. The results are taking too long, right? And that can be frustrating, and that makes that middle section so difficult. All right. And then we have the one I call the boredom trap. The boredom, you're getting bored. The boredom trap, right? Success is often a series of very boring and repetitive actions. Okay. It's never really exciting. It's consistency more than everything else, right? It can get boring. It's exciting at the beginning because it's new. I just started this thing, so it's exciting. It's, it feels it's fresh, man. There's the jump that I'm doing. I'm excited about learning this new thing. I'm excited about beginning these new routines. I'm excited about doing stuff. So at the beginning, excitement and motivation can carry you. But then as you continue, if you don't have the discipline and consistency, it begins to feel boring. Does that make sense? I begin to feel like, man, what am I doing this for again? It's bored. I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up and go to the gym. I don't want to come back and watch a video and watch another course. I don't want to do this work. It's not exciting. There is the temptation to see this section or this phase as boring. Yeah, and that's where you have to switch on again, turn off from the engine of motivation into I just have to be disciplined, right? Motivation has brought you to this point. Discipline takes over, right? Motivation gets you going. It's like it cracks the engine, but then you have to. Discipline is what, like, yeah, whether I feel like or I don't, this is the process I'm committing to, right? So consistency is not exciting, but it's about discipline. Success is often a series of boring and repetitive actions. That is what success is. It's boring repetition. All right. So, what are the strategies for the long game? And again, we're talking about powering through the middle, right? Staying consistent through the middle. How do I play that long game? I'll give you three strategies in the next couple of minutes. One, measure lead. Measure lead, measure, not measure leads, not lag measures. Measure lead measures, not lag measures. Okay, let me say that one. Measure lead measures, not lag measures. A lag measure, for example, is the promotion. The promotion. That's a lag measure. The 10K in savings, um, the new job. These fixed defined, they are fixed and defined outcomes. There are lag measures. It's like, okay, promotion. So I'm working towards this promotion. You can't control the outcomes from what you do daily, right? The outcome is not necessarily in your hands. There's a major part of the outcomes for this type of results that are dependent on other people, that are dependent on things beyond your daily activities, your daily control. Those lag measures, it's those are the lag measures that you want to pay attention to. The lead measures are the ones that are within your control. You have 100% control over this. Okay, those are the things you should focus on measuring at this season where you are, in the middle section. Okay, things like, okay, you set a goal to do more networking, sending 5 networking messages on a daily basis, 1 hour of study, right? $50 move to savings every week or every month, every pay cycle. You control that 100%, right? Measure those. Those are the things you need to measure. The lead measures, not the lag measures, not the outcome dependent metrics where it's like, hey, promotion. And so maybe you wrote down in your goals, get promoted by July. And now it's, well, we're still in February, but let's say it's June. It hasn't happened. And you've done all the things. You're showing up, you're working. If that timeline passes, likely you're going to be discouraged. So instead, focus on the things that, the action items you were supposed to be doing that you feel like should lead to that promotion, and make sure you're staying sharp. Those become the case, those become your case for promotion, right? That becomes your case. And because there are things that are beyond your control. And you only want to, you want to dwell on that. At least it's better to beat myself up over factors that I can't control. The things that I can't control, it's not worth it beating yourself up over those things. Okay, so focus on, lead measures, not lag measures. Number two strategy for the long game is the 1% rule, right? The 1% rule. And it's, don't look for 100% transformation today. Look for 1% improvement in your professional routine. Don't look for that, again, it's overnight transformation. The era we live in, it almost feels like everybody's looking for what's the magic button, what's the blue pill or red pill, to swallow to change the game, change completely overnight. That's not how it works typically. It's, again, consistency over time. So don't look for 100% transformation. It's you're trying to change your body, your health. It will not happen. You're not going to have a good week or a good day of dieting and exercise, and then everything changes. No. It's the 1% improvement in your daily professional routine. Okay. Am I consistent in my studying? If that's something that you set as a goal, am I staying with that? Is that changing? Am I consistent in my networking, as an entrepreneur that's supposed to be, making new connections and reaching out to people, making connections on LinkedIn? Am I doing that consistently? Is that becoming part of my routine now? Am I studying? Am I writing more? Am I journaling? Okay, 1% improvement, all right? 1% improvement. Toward that's where when you change who you are, the outcomes will change naturally. When who you are changes, and so it's the routine adjustments in the routine are the game changers. It's not in the outcomes per se. It's really the routines, because the routines are what will change the outcome. The routines change the person, and ultimately the person. You almost have to become the person that can handle the results you're looking for. Okay, there are certain things you will not get to accomplish in life. There are certain blessings, let me put it that way, that will not even get to you because you're not equipped to handle them. How do I get myself to where I am equipped to handle these blessings? It's your routine that would become, becomes your formula for transformation. And as you change, you're going to realize your capacity expands to handle these things. Your capacity to have certain conversations expands. Your qualifications to your credibility to sit in certain rooms and have certain conversations with certain people, expands over time as you stay consistent doing what you need to do. All right. So 1% improvement in your routines, don't look for the 100% transformation, the overnight transformation. That's not how it works. It's that process will only lead to disappointment. Number three, strategy for the long game: audit your environment. Um, Audit your environment. If progress is slow, check your circle. Are you surrounded by people who are also grinding through the middle, or people who have already given up? Right? If you are surrounded by people who have tapped out already and said, "Hey, this shout out to New Year, man, we'll try again next year." If that's everybody around you, more than likely there's no motivation to continue. There's going to be that it's going to be easy to just fall off because there's nobody that's striving through that phase. We ultimately become our environment. We ultimately become what we see. Environment is so powerful. So be intentional about voices in your ear, people in your circle. You might need to make drastic changes. As an adult, you control these things. You have to take charge, take control of your environment, of your circle, and make sure that you are not, you're not caught in a circle of mediocrity, right? That's preventing you from advancing. We're here as immigrants. Like I said, yes, we need to work twice as hard, but it won't feel like twice as hard if you're doing it with a community, right? If that's the norm, like, hey, we show up, we work hard, that's the game. The game is the game. That's what we do. It won't feel like twice as hard work. It'll just feel like this is how what hard work represents for us. This is what showing up represents for my community. This is how we show up. This is how we advance. This is how we win. And you go up, show up, and you do what you have to do, right? That is how you play the long game. Change that circle. This is so powerful. You will never out-succeed your circle. I had somebody say if you're surrounded by five stupid people, you didn't count well. You're the sixth. They're six. You're the sixth one. So you didn't count well. They're six. And even the Bible talks about, do not be deceived. Evil corruption, evil communication corrupts good manners. There's so many. He that walks with the wise will be wise. The companion of fools will be destroyed. So much reference and even philosophical quotes that speak to this, the power of your community and power of your associations, the power of your networks, right? We'll talk about your network is your net worth. You won't break through. That glass ceiling is going to be remain there. That ceiling is imposed. If you do not change the circle, who you're playing, who's in your circle, nothing's going to change. You have to be intentional about making those adjustments. Again, it might be difficult. No, let's not say it might. It's going to be difficult because you're breaking away from the norm. It's going to be difficult, but it's about you. It's about your life. It's about your experience. It's about your journey. And you have to take ownership and full responsibility of the outcomes. All right. I hope somebody is getting something. All right. So in the chat, let me know one small win you had this week. Small win didn't feel like a big deal, but you kept on moving. Let me know in the chat if you know what that is. Let's engage. If you're watching live or you're watching a replay, let me know. Type something in the chat like this is something that happened for you this week. Small win, tiny win. It didn't look like a big deal, but you did it. You got that win and you continued. Might be you completed a chapter of a book, you finished a module in the course, short course, whatever. Small win. You went 3 out of 5 days this week to the gym. Small wins. Let's hear, encourage somebody with your story. All right. Moving on to our weekly immigration pulse. This is where I kind of address certain any pretty much take liberties to talk through, just immigration related matters. Again, I'm not an expert. I am not a legal practitioner. At the African Men Collective, we're launching our immigration circles where you get to hear directly from the experts. You can actually have one-on-ones if you have any immigration questions. I just want to speak to certain things from the voice of leadership for the African Men Collective and myself. So there's information and news that it's trending and we're seeing now. The H-1B, we're about to start getting into that H-1B registration season. Recent updates from USCIS show stricter integrity-based selection process and increased scrutiny on specialty occupation requirements. So for H-1B people, that's every facet of immigration is a bit tighter now. But I know H1B, that first week of April typically is the window to, apply for the lottery. And so the reality check here is with a policy, with a policy, that's, with how things are, again, especially in our political ecosystem that's emphasizing merit-based immigration, and American worker protection. The bar for professional documentation and consistency has never been higher. All right. So, what's the connection to the two? When your career progress feels slow, remember that consistency, the consistency of your professional record is your best defense. In a stricter immigration environment, being consistently excellent is your current role. It's not just about promotion, it's about ensuring your status and your future are backed by an undeniable track record. Don't let the middle make you sloppy. Your documentation is it's your power. All right. So let's keep going. Especially for my H1B people, I went through that H1B route. It's about high skills, so you want to elevate. And leave no doubt that you bring value to the organization where you drop the ball. Don't fall behind on any work. Right, deliver excellently well. This is I just want to encourage somebody who is navigating maybe OPT, trying to apply for H1, and paperwork and everything is going through right now. It is from experience definitely the most I don't want to say difficult, but it's definitely the most challenging. Again, in that whole waiting process. But please don't drop the ball. Don't stop being excellent. The reason you're in consideration and in running is because you are super skilled in a particular area. You're in a high skilled profession. You're skilled. You're intelligent. You have the qualifications. You have the paperwork to show it. And people have taken a chance or are willing to take a chance on you. Don't, so just let's make sure that no matter what the requirements are, our work is consistent and it's justifiable, so nobody's telling us any stories. All right. So again, as I get set to wrap up today's session, I want to give you a challenge, a 72-hour challenge. All right. Pick one lead measure, something that's within your control, one simple action, and commit to doing it for 3 days straight, regardless of how you feel. And I want you to pick something that is within the realm of your professional development, your professional advancement, right? Maybe next time, start with something professional. Okay, so if it's taking a course that will advance you in pursuit of that promotion, go sign up for that course, right? And then start model 1, model 2, 3 days straight, right? Let's get it. But something in the professional advancement space. Next week, you can take on health. The other week, you can take on something else. Okay, so 72-hour challenge, find one lead measure. Again, these are metrics within or changes within your control, and go get it. 3 days straight. Let us know how that goes. And then next week, we'll talk more about the power of community, how you build a support system that pulls you through the middle. That's what I'll be talking about next week. Or if there's something else more paramount, it might change. We talk about this live. We want to make sure we're staying on top of things. All right, and a few announcements of things going on within the collective. Next month, March, is our Women's Month. It's Women's History Month. We have our International Women's Day celebration, March 28th. So for all African women in the diaspora, this event is for you. Here in the United States and even beyond. Last year was incredible. We had almost 200 women from across I think around 6 countries, US, Canada, UK, across Europe, represented in the room. It was powerful for them. It was the things that networks that have come out, people who have become part of the AIM community, contributing immensely over the past year. A lot of them started from that women's conference. It was life transforming. It was networks. This year, we are more intentional about mentorship and sponsorship. We want to connect people to mentors. So if you are a student, navigating, you're going through your students F1 phase and you need to connect to professionals, then you have to be in the room. You are a new immigrant or you are a veteran, you've been doing it for a while and you want to connect with other people at your level who are doing incredible things, you want to network, you want to also add value, then please, you want to make sure you are part of this. And I also have exciting news. Our masterclass series is back. All right, our masterclass series, we are going to be starting this Saturday, the 28th, will be our first masterclass series for 2026. It's going to be immigration focused, and we'll have our attorney Uzo, who's going to be taking us on that journey. And so it's going to be exciting. Masterclass series is back. And then immigration clinics. If you have any private immigration questions that you don't want to address in the public forum, but you could use conversations with an attorney, an immigration attorney, then make sure you sign up for immigration clinics. Again, get on Instagram, send us a DM, get on LinkedIn here, send us a message, and somebody will send you more information. But we're excited to announce that the immigration clinic is launching next week, Saturday, March the 7th. It's going to be incredible. Starting virtual, so you don't have to show up to any place. It's going to be virtual. You get your one-on-one time, you get your time slots. You have to show up for that. Before the meeting, you will receive a form, to fill out details of your own situation. That's going straight to the attorneys. We're trying to set up a level of access. We want to make sure that the systems is put in place. It's not passing through. It's direct you and attorney communication, right? So that everything is set up that way. It's set up properly, and we want to make sure we're serving the community. These sessions are, our attorneys are doing this on their own time, on their own dime, at no cost. Volunteering their time. So if you want to be a part of this, please go ahead and sign up. It's going to be great. We're looking forward to the transformations and the impacts and all of that. But yeah, stay connected. Again, this is the African Collective. Let's keep traveling beyond borders. Till next week, my name is Nnamdi, and I just stay blessed, and I will see you. All right, let's keep with it.